Harvesting has always been one of the most memorable and satisfying moments of agricultural production. Today's video will take you through 25 amazing and inspirational agricultural harvesting moments. A bustling atmosphere blankets the strawberry fields in California. Workers strive to work as quickly as possible to harvest all the strawberries. Farmers pack the strawberries right in the fields to keep them dry and fresh. The boxes of strawberries are quickly transported to collection points. Finally, the farm owner inspects the quantity, and these strawberry crates are ready for market distribution. Hand harvesting grapes usually takes place in the morning. Workers use small scissors to cut out each grape cluster and carefully place them into baskets. Another group of farmers sorts and inspects each grape cluster before packing them directly in the field. Afterwards, the packed crates are loaded onto trucks for distribution to the fresh market. In many areas, farmers still harvest winter blomkohl by hand. This is because the cauliflower heads are highly sensitive to impact and pressure. By cutting them manually, farmers can harvest carefully without damaging the leaves or immature plants. This approach helps optimize yield on the same planting area. Ginger farming in Japan is primarily concentrated in the Kochi prefecture. This accounts for over 44% of the nation's ginger production. In 2023, Japan produced around 101 million pounds of ginger. Ginger from Kochi is highly valued, largely thanks to the region's warm climate and efficient farming methods. Aloe vera products from Dominica are primarily exported to serve the global cosmetics and functional food industries. Therefore, the harvesting process often begins early in the morning, when cooler temperatures help maintain the freshness of the aloe vera. Farmers carefully use knives to cut out mature aloe vera leaves, avoiding damage to the inner gel and minimizing sap loss. The global tomato production in 2023 is estimated to have reached around 412 billion pounds of fresh tomatoes. The majority of these tomatoes are harvested using machinery. In California, one of the largest tomato producing regions in the world, the use of harvesters has significantly boosted productivity and competitiveness in the international market. Typically, cherry farms in the US require around 80 to 120 workers, and the harvest lasts around 1 month. Farmers start picking at 5 a.m., continuously working to fill 150 to 200 bins. This means each worker is responsible for harvesting around 530 pounds of cherries. It is estimated that approximately 120 million bales of cotton, equivalent to around 57 billion pounds, are harvested globally each year. Modern machinery with integrated picking and baling capabilities has made cotton harvesting more efficient. These machines drop individual bales onto the ground at regular intervals, ensuring orderly and easy collection. This system allows American farmers to harvest 40,000 acres of cranberries annually, leading the world in cranberry production. The process of collecting cranberries involves strong vacuum systems that lift the berries from the water and deposit them into containers. At this stage, the cranberries are cleaned using water jets to remove dirt and impurities. Each banana bunch weighs between 44 and 110 pounds. They are harvested entirely by hand. After cutting, farmers carry the banana bunches on their shoulders to collection points. Despite the challenges and immense labour intensity, Indian farmers harvest around 66 billion pounds of fresh bananas annually, making India the world's leading banana producer. When mangoes reach maturity, Japanese farmers use soft nets to wrap around each fruit. This method protects the mangoes from pests and insects and reduces the risk of disease. The nets catch the mangoes as they naturally fall, preventing them from hitting the ground hard. Farmers can then harvest the mangoes with ease while ensuring their quality. This step is crucial in helping cassava farmers achieve high yields. Farmers select mature, healthy cassava plants to use as cuttings. They cut the plants into segments around 7 to 11 inches long, ensuring each segment has at least 2 to 3 nodes capable of developing roots and shoots. The cassava segments are placed horizontally or diagonally, with the nodes facing upwards to facilitate growth. Cassava is typically harvested after 8 to 12 months, when the roots have reached their optimal size. Farmers often use shovels to loosen the soil and carefully extract the cassava without damaging the roots. Cassava is an economically significant crop, grown in 48 provinces of Thailand. In 2023, the country's cassava production reached approximately 67 billion pounds. Apple orchards in Asia are often harvested manually. Farmers climb ladders or use specialised tools to carefully pick each apple, a method that is favoured for producing high-quality dessert apples. On average, an orchard requires 10 to 12 workers to harvest efficiently without taking up too much space and ensuring the job is completed. Harvesting palm clusters from tall trees is a dangerous task, but it provides a high income for Thai workers. Before harvesting, sickles must be sharpened to allow quick and precise cutting. After harvesting, farmers use axes to trim the palm clusters. They separate the fruits, clean off any dirt, and prepare them for processing at the factory. In large-scale farming areas, Dutch farmers often use harvesting machines to optimise onion production. The sorting systems in these machines can determine the size of the onions and direct them accordingly. Smaller or substandard onions are discarded back onto the field, reducing the workload for post-harvest processing. Cucumbers are typically harvested during the summer, from June to August. As the machine moves across the field, its blades gently cut the cucumbers from the vines without damaging the fruit. The cucumbers are then transported via conveyor belts from the cutting section to the storage area or directly into containers on trucks. From early August to late September, tree shakers move through almond orchards, shaking the almonds off the trees. These machines ensure the nuts fall evenly and prevent premature dropping. This machine can harvest 4 to 9 acres per day. This efficiency enables California farmers to produce 2.8 billion pounds of almonds annually, accounting for 80% of the global supply. Next, let's visit the team harvesting and packing lettuce in the field. Lettuce needs to be cooled as quickly as possible to maintain its freshness and minimize the time between harvesting and delivery to distributors. Workers arrange the lettuce neatly, avoiding excessive stacking to prevent it from being crushed. The packing crates must be sturdy enough to withstand long-distance transport without damaging the produce. A team harvesting asparagus typically consists of around 5 to 10 workers. Asparagus is usually harvested when it reaches a length of 6 to 8 inches and has a sufficient diameter. The blades need to be kept sharp, and the cutting motion must be quick and precise to avoid damaging the asparagus. After harvesting, the asparagus is promptly transported to cooling areas for preservation. Adjacent to the chili fields being harvested are drying yards for chilies. When dried, the spicy oils become concentrated, which is why dried chilies often have a stronger and more intense flavour when compared to fresh ones. Dried chilies can be used to make chili powder, chili oil, or a seasoning in traditional dishes. India leads Asia in dried chili production, with approximately 3.9 billion pounds produced annually. Flames engulf the entire sugarcane field, but in reality, this fire is intentionally set by traditional sugarcane farmers in Brazil. Burning the sugarcane fields removes most of the leaves and weeds growing between the rows, reducing the amount of material that needs to be collected. This makes it easier for workers to harvest the sugarcane. After harvesting, corn is loaded onto trucks for transportation to collection areas. Here, the corn is poured into large open spaces, allowing farmers to inspect the quality and prepare for subsequent processes. Specialized vehicles then push the corn into large piles, preventing spillage and creating evenly sliced stacks. This is ideal for silage fermentation. On the vast fields of Texas, farmers harvest artichokes when the buds have bloomed but are still tightly closed. Using sharp knives, they cut the stems around 1 to 2 inches below the buds. After harvesting, each artichoke is skillfully tossed into a basket worn on their backs. This requires dexterity and precision to avoid damaging the flowers. Bundles of celery, once cut, are quickly placed onto harvesting machines. Packing celery into bags immediately after harvesting minimizes damage caused by excessive handling. These conveyor belts transport the celery to sorting stations right in the fields, where workers inspect each bundle, discarding stems that show signs of damage or do not meet quality standards. Each year, American farmers leverage technology and markets to turn agricultural products into substantial income. Once the crops leave the fields, they are sent to processing plants where their value is elevated. Let's explore how American farmers make billions of dollars from processing agricultural products. California is the most productive tomato growing region in the world. With its long summers, this fertile valley consistently produces 10 to 12 million tons of processed tomatoes each season, accounting for 96% of the domestic supply and 33% of the global tomato market. Harvesting usually begins early in the morning to take advantage of cooler temperatures, which help to preserve the quality of the tomatoes. Hand picking is mainly used for tomatoes grown for fresh consumption. Workers move through the tomato fields and carefully pick each tomato from the plant. They use a twisting or gentle cutting technique to ensure the fruit is not damaged during the picking process. The tomatoes are placed in bins or baskets carried by the workers. These containers are designed to prevent bruising or crushing as the tomatoes are gathered. Manual tomato harvesting is labor intensive, especially during peak harvest season. With prices reaching up to $200,000, farmers use machinery to harvest larger tomato plots. Along the Highway 99 corridor in California's Central Valley, you can see trucks towering with loads of tomatoes. From July to September, harvest machines can operate into the evening during peak days. The harvester moves through the rows, pulling entire tomato plants with giant blades into the machine. A shaker continuously separates the fruit from the vines, tossing the vines back into the field. Meanwhile, the tomatoes are pushed onto a conveyor belt. Harvesting machines are equipped with green removal technology. They detect and remove unripe tomatoes at a rate of 75 tons per hour. With the help of mechanical harvesters, sorting happens faster than the human eye can detect, operating at 32 times a second. Next, all the tomatoes are transferred onto trucks. The high-quality tomatoes are then transported to processing plants. Here's what happens at a ketchup production facility. The tomatoes are first washed and then steamed. Next, the tomatoes are peeled and pureed to create the ketchup. Tomato products with a deep red colour are more preferred by customers. Therefore, farmers must harvest according to the ripening stages. Fully ripened red tomatoes contain high levels of carotenoids, which increase the nutritional value of the final product. To minimize the risk of crop loss and extreme weather, processing plants source an equal volume of tomatoes from each county in California. Besides ketchup processing, pickles are also a major industry in the US, especially in states like Michigan, Ohio, and North Carolina. Pickling cucumbers are usually harvested in the summer months, from June to August. Farmers typically select cucumbers that are around 5 to 10 centimeters long. To ensure they are not too large, they maintain their crispness, and it makes them easier to pickle in jars. For high-quality pickling production, hand harvesting is preferred. Workers move along the cucumber rows using knives to harvest the cucumbers growing close to the vine. Care is taken to avoid using excessive force to prevent bruising the fruit or damaging the plants. During hand harvesting, workers visually inspect the cucumbers for defects and select the ones that meet the standards for pickling. Cucumbers that are too small or too large are discarded to ensure uniform quality in the final product. After harvesting, cucumbers are gathered into baskets or containers and transported to a central collection area where they are sorted and prepared for the next steps. Cucumbers can be stored at 7 to 10 degrees Celsius for up to 2 weeks. They will spoil if kept too cold, becoming soft and slimy. Farmers avoid storing cucumbers near ripe produce to prevent them from developing a bitter taste. Fields are also carefully prepared to ensure that cucumbers are not damaged during the harvesting process. When machines move through the fields, the cutting blades gently separate the cucumbers from the vine without damaging the fruit. The cucumbers are then conveyed from the cutting area to the storage compartment or directly into containers placed on trucks. This system sorts cucumbers by size, making it easier for farmers to select the best produce right in the field. After harvesting, the cucumbers are transported from the fields to storage facilities or processing plants. Modern cucumber harvesters help minimize damage to the fruit during the harvesting and transportation process. When the cucumbers arrive at the plant, they are placed on a conveyor belt and pass through a washing machine. These machines use water jets to remove dirt, pesticides, and any debris from the cucumbers. After washing, the cucumbers are sorted again by size and quality before moving on to the pickling stage. This ensures that only the best cucumbers are used for the final product. The cucumbers are soaked in large vats filled with a solution of brine, vinegar, and spices. They can be soaked for several days to several weeks. The pickling vats are temperature controlled to ensure an even pickling. Once the soaking process is complete, the cucumbers are removed from the vats. Workers inspect the cucumbers again to ensure there are no impurities. Sliced pickles are then packed into jars or containers along with the brine solution and sealed. Some varieties are packed whole for consumers who prefer whole pickles. After packaging, the pickles are labelled and sent to the distribution centres, ready to be sold in supermarkets or used in the food service industry. The US is one of the largest producers of pickles in the world, with an annual output ranging from 350,000 to 500,000 tons of pickles. This generates around $2 billion US each year. This revenue comes from both domestic consumption and exports, as pickles are a popular item in the American diet. The sight of banana bunches suspended on a cable system is iconic in large banana farms, especially those located on hilly terrain. Under the influence of gravity, the banana bunches gently slide along the cable, safely and securely. On average, a system can transport around 90 bunches of bananas. This is the harvest in Ecuador, one of the leading suppliers of bananas to the US. Harvesting typically begins when the bananas are still green, as they ripen during transportation and storage. Each banana bunch can weigh between 65 and 110 pounds, so farmers often use foam padding to protect their shoulders during the harvesting process. A harvesting team usually consists of at least 2 people. As soon as one farmer cuts the bunch, the other supports it to prevent bruising. Next, the farmers tie the bananas to the cable system to transport them from the field to the collection points. The use of cable systems allows for faster and more efficient transport, reducing harvest time and increasing productivity. Moreover, by lifting the banana bunches off the ground, the risk of fruit damage is reduced, leading to a higher quality final product. Have you ever wondered how bananas stay fresh as they travel around the world without turning brown for weeks? After leaving the field, the bananas are immediately taken to the processing area, where they are washed and sorted. Workers cut the large banana bunches into smaller clusters and soak them in water. Bananas are pre-cooled within 10 to 12 hours after harvest to slow down the ripening process, reduce post-harvest losses, and improve the marketability of the bananas. Workers separate the banana clusters into smaller bunches for easier packaging. They ensure that each tray meets the required weight. This step is crucial to maintaining consistency in the product. The international banana trade relies on harvesting and transporting firm, green fruit, which is then ripened in the consuming country. The lowest safe temperature for transporting bananas is around 13.3 degrees Celsius, which helps to extend their shelf life. Commercial banana production in the US is relatively limited in scale and economic impact, while the average American consumes 26 pounds of bananas per year. Most of the fruit is imported from other countries, primarily in Central and South America. Bananas are one of the most perishable items in international trade. The role of the container is to cool the bananas before they are loaded onto trucks. Bananas are transported by sea through independent cold chain carriers. A journey can take several days or weeks from loading to port. After unloading, bananas are distributed through importers before reaching retail stores for sale to consumers. When you walk into any supermarket in the US, no matter how limited the selection, bananas are always available. Bananas top the list of fresh fruit sold in the country. They are a good source of fiber, potassium, and vitamin C. Additionally, ripe bananas are great for baking as they have a natural sweetness and can replace sugar in recipes. The United States stands out as the world's leading exporter of almonds, California supplying more than 80% of the total consumption. The state is home to over 7,000 almond growers and processors. Once pollination is complete, almond fruits begin to develop. On average, each tree will yield more than 6,000 almonds. It takes about 6 to 7 months before they are ready for harvest. Farmers use machinery to speed up the harvesting process. Almond harvesters are specially designed with mechanical arms that attach to the tree trunk and shake it vigorously, causing the ripe almonds to fall to the ground. The almonds are then left to dry for around 10 days. After this drying period, blowers and sweepers gather them into rows, and a vacuum machine clears any remaining dust. At the processing plant, the almonds are emptied into a pit, where a conveyor belt transports them to the processing area. They first pass through a rotating roller to remove the outer hull and separate the nuts. After hulling, the almonds go through a sorting line to remove any branches or debris collected during the harvest. These systems ensure that the almonds are free from impurities before moving on to the next stage. Then the almonds go through an advanced sorting process to remove any severely damaged or defective almonds. Large-scale processing plants can handle over 3 million kilograms of almonds a day. During peak season, the facility spans 33 buildings, with over 100 trucks transporting almonds 24 hours a day. Smaller almonds fall into storage containers, where they are kept under ideal temperatures and humidity conditions, ensuring a continuous supply of almonds for processing year-round. Meanwhile, larger almonds will be processed into oil. Unrefined almond oil is made by pressing raw almonds without using high temperatures or chemical agents. This low-heat process helps almond oil retain many nutrients, making unrefined almond oil a better option for culinary use. Bottled almond oil can be stored for up to 12 months.